I pulled the car over right before we got to the county clerk's office, where we were supposed to get our marriage license. My fiancée, whose name was Sarah, was immediately on the phone, locked in a shouting match with her ex-boyfriend, David. It went on for 4 straight, agonizing hours. During that endless time, I didn't say a word. I just watched her. Her emotions spun wildly. She was furious, then impatient. Then she'd let out a bitter laugh, followed by accusations, and even a few moments of crying. But the one thing she couldn't do, no matter how upset she got, was hang up the phone. That's when I finally decided it. I was going to break up with her. I reached out and gently nudged her arm. She finally pulled the phone away from her ear, looking utterly shocked. "Why? He's the one who keeps bothering me," she protested. I met her eyes. "Because being able to be bothered is a form of indulgence itself, Sarah," I replied, the words tasting like ash in my mouth. The weird behavior started right after we announced we were making things official. Sarah was suddenly spending more late nights at work. Her phone started ringing constantly, and she just wouldn't answer it. She would just sit there, staring blankly at the screen as it vibrated. My gut feeling is rarely wrong. "It's David, isn't it?" I asked, stating the obvious. "Your first love? Your ex-boyfriend?" She offered a bitter, resigned smile. "I can't hide anything from you. Ever since he found out we were getting married, he hasn't stopped calling." I looked out the window, trying to organize my thoughts. "Invite him out," I suggested. "Make it perfectly clear that it's over, and end it for good." Sarah immediately powered her phone off. "There's no need," she said, her voice completely flat. "I have nothing to say to him." Sarah was lying. The old, dusty tablet sitting on the coffee table at home was still logged into her college social account, and I'd stumbled upon it. She and David had been in constant conversation since the previous week. Of course, it was David initiating everything. He was relentless, reaching out, reminiscing tearfully, apologizing, and begging to get back together. Sarah kept rejecting him, sometimes even lashing out angrily. Her messages were full of a seething, unspoken resentment. With me, she was always so calm and gentle. She never even raised her voice. I had foolishly thought that this calmness was a sign of her deep love for me. Now I realized I was completely wrong. I was staring at the tablet screen when a new message notification suddenly popped up. "Let's meet one last time, just to give our past some closure." My chest immediately felt tight and twisted. A few minutes passed, and Sarah didn't reply, which made me feel a tiny bit better. However, David's next message came soon after. "At our old spot where we first met, Riverside Park." The very next second, new messages flooded the chat box. "David, how dare you say you love me? You even got the place we first met wrong. It wasn't the park, not the park, it was the cafe next to the park. How many times do I have to tell you this for you to remember? You never pay attention to us." Through the screen, I could sense Sarah's complete emotional breakdown. Just then, the bedroom door opened. Sarah came out, looking completely normal. She went to the closet and got ready to change clothes. Her eyes were a little red, though. "I have to go out," she announced. "There's an unexpected inspection from headquarters." I put the tablet down and nodded quietly. She leaned over, her warm lips pressing against my cheek. "Wait for me to come back." I watched her walk out. Maybe she didn't even realize it herself, but out of all her colorful clothes, she chose the only light blue one. That was David's favorite color. Rationality is one thing, but emotions are clearly another. I found myself at the cafe before I even consciously decided to go. Through the semi-transparent window, Sarah and David were right in front of me. He was sitting next to her, familiar and completely at ease. "You still drink Americano?" No sugar? He asked. Sarah sat bolt upright, her expression tight and emotionless, her jaw clenched. If you have something to say, just say it, she replied sharply. David glared at her. Can't I just see you for no reason? He pushed the Americano cup away and replaced it with a grapefruit juice. I don't like you drinking Americano. It tastes bitter when we kiss. She looked up, her face furious. What do you want? David stubbornly confronted Sarah, his eyes getting red. Sarah looked back at him, clearly in pain. Her hidden emotions erupted like fire beneath a thin layer of ice. In a sudden move, David pulled Sarah into his arms. What do I want? I want you! I want you, Sarah! I just want you! Let go! Sarah shouted. David shook his head and started kissing her wildly. She pushed him away, but he came back, over and over. Finally, tears fell from David's eyes. Sarah, how can you be so heartless? It hurts me. Don't you love me anymore? Seeing his tears, the air in Sarah's tough exterior seemed to leak out a bit. She lifted her hand and gently stroked David's hair, letting out a painful yet doting sigh. David, you can't be like this. I'm getting married. Suddenly, I couldn't breathe. Could she actually still remember she was getting married? David shook his head. Without a license, we're not official. I still have a chance. He arrogantly pulled her waist close, the other hand on her head, and fiercely bit her lips. A sweet taste. He smirked proudly. Sarah was stunned. Then she came to her senses, furrowed her brow, and said, Get away from me! I won't! David raised his brow angrily. You're mine, only mine. You promised. You can't go back on your word. I don't know what Sarah was thinking. I just saw her staring into a corner. After a long while, she uttered each word with a mix of anger and grievance. I went back on my word, but you were the one who left me first, David. You didn't want me. What are you doing now? Are you playing with me? David really was the one who left Sarah. 3 years ago, I witnessed their breakup. Back then, Sarah was struggling with her startup. She was broke, desperately chasing investors for funding. I had just graduated and landed a good role because of my skills. My boss liked to bring me to networking events. That night, I met Sarah when she was being rejected outside our private room. Her project plans were scattered everywhere, and a manager's footprint was on one of the papers. I didn't pay much attention. Lots of people struggle with startups. Who was I to feel sorry for others? After the event ended, I noticed her again. She was alone at the bar, disheveled, drinking one glass after another. Soon, a tall, handsome guy walked in. He snatched her drink and tossed it in her face. Sarah, look at yourself. What a mess. That was David's style. Loving fiercely but just as ruthless. When he finally stopped, Sarah gave a bitter smile, reaching out her hand as if asking for a hug or comfort. David, step back. Let's break up. He didn't even give her a chance to respond. Don't talk about making a comeback. We don't have much time in our youth. I can't stick around waiting forever. Plus, I got the chance to go abroad. I have to take it. It was a clean break. She said it and turned away. And then it became my story with Sarah. Being in the same social circle and alumni group made getting familiar a natural thing. First, we just nodded to each other. Later, we became friends who would grab a meal or catch a movie together. Sometimes she'd gaze at me and say, complimenting me, Michael, you've really got the nicest vibe, such a breath of fresh air. She'd lean casually against the balcony railing, her white blouse catching a breeze like it held on to March's early warmth. It was very alluring and a bit dangerous. She'd insist, I'm not still pining over my first love. We got along casually. I admit I liked her looks. But that was it, nothing more. It turns out talented people can't stay overlooked forever. The second year David was away, Sarah snagged over $300 million in investments. The investors knew marketing. She was stunning and a tech wizard. Both she and her company hit it big. One night, she suddenly called me, straight to the point. "Michael, want to invest a little?" "What?" It sounded like a joke. "In my company, of course. Or if you want, you can invest in me." I chuckled. The stars were sparse outside. Her tone got serious. "The company's doing well. We're getting more funding next month. We're going public next spring. Join now, and you're in as a founding partner. Easy money's in front of you. You'd be a fool not to take it. Equity for skills, part-time PR work. Sound good?" She let out a soft laugh, her voice wrapping itself in the spring breeze. "Enough. Enough to buy all of me." On the night NASDAQ rang, Sarah held a celebration party. She and her founding partners drank and reminisced about the reckless college days, the grind of getting investments, and the struggle to create products. But they all carefully avoided mentioning David. The champagne was gone. Everyone was tipsy. Someone spoke up. "Sarah, I bet David will regret it when the IPO news hits tomorrow." Sarah paused for a moment. Someone else deflected. "Why bring him up out of things to say? Drink up!" Sarah laughed it off. "No worries, I don't care. There's nothing between us anymore." Her tone remained as calm as always. After she said that, she lifted her empty glass to her lips, drinking for a while before laughing. "Out of booze already?" David's explanation snapped me back from my memories at the cafe. He was arrogant, showing not a hint of guilt or awkwardness. "Sarah, you think I'm at fault for leaving you?" Sarah snorted, like it was a joke. "Should I thank you for hardening my mind and testing my patience? What do you take me for, David? Even a dog knows pain when hit." Her voice was rising with every word, never realizing how easily David could stir her emotions. David got even angrier. "What was I supposed to do back then? You knew my dad was a gambler, my mom frail. Going abroad was my only shot at changing my fate. Was I really supposed to give up my few youthful years to gamble on a faint hope of a comeback?" He was deflecting blame, but Sarah swallowed hard, giving a bitter smile. "You weren't wrong. If anyone's to blame, it's because I couldn't give us a stable life back then." Her grip on the coffee cup was tight, veins showing, exposing her regret. My heart twisted. Though my lips were smiling, I was there at the celebration party. When it ended, she took me home, confessing her feelings. She seemed so carefree and genuine that night that I believed she was truly over David. Plus, she had listed me as a founding partner, so I said yes to dating her. Looking back, the signs were always there, like the beer she wanted that night. Cheap, like what she drank the day David left her. Even with her success, champagne, and roses at her fingertips, she still held on to that cheap beer and that insecure love. David shook his head. "I don't blame you. I love you." Sarah frowned. "Don't say that. I'm engaged now." "Fiancé isn't a husband." It seemed Sarah had had enough. Standing up, she declared, "I saw you one last time, like you asked. Don't contact me again." David clutched her coat, pleading. "Sarah, just one more chance. I truly love you. I can't live without you." Sarah shut her eyes, reopening them like she was forcefully clearing her mind. "It's just not possible." She pushed David away and walked off. David choked out, "You think I want to be this desperate, this shameless, Sarah? I'm sick." Her feet froze at the doorstep. She spun around. "David, are you messing with me?" Her words were harsh, but her worried face gave her away. David, with red eyes, handed her a diagnosis. "I'm serious. I've got a lung tumor. Don't know if it's benign or malignant. Sarah, I'm scared. You're all I've got here." Sarah's jaw clenched. Her fingertips gently crossed his tears. "Don't think your words will make me pity you, David. Maybe this is your own doing." David weakly smiled. "Well deserved. What if it's cancerous?" "Shut it!" Sarah yanked David from the couch. "I'm sick of you. Sick means treatment, not crying." Gritting her teeth, she added, "Once you're better, don't drag me into this anymore. I'm all out of patience with you." Sarah stayed out all night. The next morning, she messaged me, "Babe, I'm going on a long trip to Houston, about a week." I knew. Anderson Cancer Center is the best around, and it's in Houston. I simply replied, "Okay." She texted back, "Love you. See you soon." I laughed quietly. I didn't want to wait anymore. I reached out to Eric, my college buddy, who's now a top lawyer at a big firm. "Michael, what do you want from Sarah?" I handed him the tea with a smile. "I'm a business person, Eric. You know I should take what's owed to me and fight for what's not." Eric was taken aback, probably not expecting me to be so ruthless. Then he nodded approvingly. "That's you. Always above matters of the heart. Don't worry," he added. "Leave it to me. I'll settle everything for you." I gave him a faint smile. "Thanks." Equity handling, exit clauses, tax planning. While Sarah was with David for medical appointments, I was working to maximize my own interests. Do I blame her? Not really. Do I love her? Maybe a bit. Am I hurt? Well, I'm not emotionless. 3 years of feelings don't just vanish. But life's a vast wilderness, and I'm beautiful and wealthy. Why trap myself in a love triangle mess? I was just about to wrap everything up when Sarah came back. She seemed shattered, and the first thing she did was hug me tightly. Overwhelmed, I pulled away. "What's wrong?" She chuckled lightly, holding my hand. "Nothing much. Work's not going well." I looked at her noticeably lean face and couldn't say a thing. It turns out David had lied to her. There was no tumor. He just wanted to trick her into leaving me, hoping to rekindle old feelings. With my hand on her face, I felt warm tears. She was like a weary traveler finally finding a warm inn. "Michael, marry me. I want to be with you," she said. I asked, "Without love, why get married?" She didn't miss a beat, denying it. "Nonsense. Why would I want to marry you if I didn't love you?" Early the next morning, Sarah dragged me out, saying she had a surprise for me. A few turns later, the Civil Affairs Bureau appeared before us. "I booked us to get our marriage license," she said, "just back from the US, and she's rushing to get hitched, like she fears she might change her mind." I looked at her. "I actually need to talk to you." The car phone rang, displaying only him. We both knew who it was. Before Sarah could hang up, I answered, "Sarah, you finally picked up. I didn't mean to lie to you. I couldn't just stand by and watch you marry someone else." Sarah slammed the brakes, and the seatbelt pinched painfully. She spoke, "Don't bother us anymore." "I can't help it. Give me another chance. I love you properly this time." Sarah gripped the steering wheel tightly, her knuckles white. "You keep lying, playing, abandoning me. What right do you have to ask for forgiveness? If I wasn't financially well off now, would you be back?" "I would. These 3 years helped me see I truly love you." Silence filled the car. After a long pause, Sarah asked hoarsely, "Really?" It was obviously a con, but Sarah still asked. David slowly said, "Yes." Sarah scoffed. "Do you think I'm a fool?" So there they were, going back and forth, arguing, questioning, blaming, digging up old wounds, and yet red-eyed, pouring their hearts out for 4 hours straight. It felt like I was watching a cheesy soap opera, them being entwined yet hostile, and I, a mere bystander, seemingly happy but actually redundant. I finally nudged Sarah, interrupting. "I want to break up with you." Silence briefly followed. Then Sarah apologized. "Sorry, babe. I lost my cool. I'll hang up now. Let's go get our license." I repeated, "I'm breaking up with you." Surprised, Sarah showed no strong emotion, giving me a gentle, apologetic smile. "I know you're mad. Today was my fault. I sincerely apologize, but don't talk about breaking up." I was a bit disappointed. I actually wanted her to get angry, like she did with David, always easily swayed by him. I pointed to my watch. "You two have been on the phone for 4 hours." She shook her head bitterly. "You heard it all. He's the one always pestering." So, was hanging up tough? Sarah froze. Slowly I asked further. "Blocking him? Was it hard? Changing your number? Was it difficult? Deactivating an old account? Was it so complicated?" Leaning back, I found a comfortable position, arms crossed, looking at her. "Stop fooling yourself, Sarah. He keeps pestering because you allow it." I thought I wouldn't get emotional anymore, but words escaped me, tinged with bitterness. Allowing means you still care. Someone I can't stand won't get a reaction from me, not petty arguments or opposition. Just like I don't like cilantro. Even if I see it, I just quietly pick it out. She seemed at a loss for words. I didn't feel like talking anymore. Gazing outside, the weather was nice. A cold coffee sounded great. In the silence, David on the other end sniffled and called for Sarah. She didn't respond. I couldn't help but chime in. "Mr. David, anything else? Why don't we all meet?" Sarah's muscles tensed. "What are you up to?" She was defensive, and I found it irritating yet amusingly tempting to taunt her. "Nothing. I just want to see the guy who easily swayed my fiancée." Sarah immediately hung up, looking at me, guilt and shame interwoven. "I'll block him now. Ending like this is my mess. He's miserable, reliant on no one, bullied. I just can't bring myself to be ruthless." She stopped short of saying, "Don't worry, don't trouble him." I cut her off. "Don't worry. I'm not interested in petty rivalries." Sarah regarded me deeply. "Thank you, Michael." Was this an apology on behalf of David? I opted not to waste more time. "Take me home." Sarah stayed still, silent. "Michael, I really like you." She said it genuinely, and I believed her. We always enjoyed easy, pleasant times together. Singing, she'd naturally join in. A movie I'd half seen, she always happened to have watched it, too. Looking outside, she murmured, "With him, I'm always angry. My emotions surge constantly. I want to leave him but can't let go when I see him. I'm at a loss. But you're like a holiday. Being with you feels comfy, like being recharged." Her compliments felt nice regardless. I grinned, nodding. "You like me because I'm a great person." I paused, holding back any tremor in my voice. "But you love David, even if he's a bad person. See, that's the difference." I swung open the car door. There it was, a wide boulevard shaded with trees. But then Sarah grabbed my wrist, her face pale. "It's impossible for us, isn't it? Even if I completely cut ties with David now, you still won't forgive me, right?" I nodded. "Right." Her pupils shrank. She pulled a ring from her pocket. "I was really ready to marry you. He was just a blip. Can't we just let that go?" I sighed. "Even if I could you?" She seemed determined. She said firmly. She stubbornly tried to slip the ring onto my finger over and over, but her shaky hands just wouldn't let her do it. Maybe deep down she was stopping herself. Eventually she lost it and kicked a planter by the road. I turned and walked away. Behind me came her low voice. Michael, if we break up now, I can't guarantee how much company stock you'll get. I looked back, pulling out a prearranged stock transfer agreement and exit terms from my bag. Ms. Sarah, maybe take a look at this first. She took it, her movement stiff. This is what you wanted to talk about? Yeah, I said. She chuckled scornfully. So our relationship is this fragile? Now I can chase after David guilt-free. You really know how to twist the knife, huh? I smiled. I can do that too. No, that's not it. I raised my eyes, standing tall, looking at her seriously. The scene of her confessing to me overlapped with this. Sarah, I actually liked you a lot. Now, I returned the words. I really wanted to marry you, but you messed it all up. I wasn't sure how much of an impact that line had on her, but later I got dozens of missed calls and violation notices, things like illegal parking, smoking while driving, using her phone, and running red lights. Thank goodness she didn't crash my car. Otherwise, I'd have to shell out for repairs. I quickly moved out of our old place. With my past bonuses and connections, I started a small studio. Of course, I also lured away some of Sarah's clientele. Can't help it. We move in the same circles, and I was always in charge of PR, way better at handling people than she is. David heard my parting words to Sarah about liking her and gave me a thumbs up. Still got the skills, huh? That one line will keep her tossing and turning for a few sleepless nights. I took a sip of red wine. I wasn't looking to unsettle her conscience. David stared, confused. I tried to mask my swirling emotions. I'm betting that with each bit of guilt she feels, I'll gain a bit more from the split. I laughed at myself. That's what you call squeezing out the residual value of a crappy relationship. I've wanted to break down, to endlessly cling and act out like David. Sadly, I never met anyone who would indulge me like that. I won't hold out hope of meeting someone like that. I want to steer my own life and emotions always. The stock split process took a week. During that time, bits and pieces about Sarah and David reached me through mutual friends, just like I imagined. Entangled and inseparable. What's that saying? Getting close to her is getting close to pain. Staying away from her is staying away from happiness. Destiny or calamity can't be resolved. If I weren't one of the parties involved, maybe I'd be all tangled up too. But as someone involved, I just saw it as a mess. I couldn't wait any longer. The studio was expanding rapidly, and I needed funds. I went straight to the office to find Sarah. The secretary stopped me at the door. Mr. Michael, please relax. Ms. Sarah is on a business trip, and the process is ongoing. The agreement was drawn up by a top law firm. No legal risks involved. If she agrees, please have Ms. Sarah sign. If not, then we negotiate. What's with all the stalling? The secretary was left speechless. I need answers from the office. A cold voice echoed. Michael, come in. She wasn't out of town after all. I went in. Businesslike, Ms. Sarah. She frowned like she'd heard a really unpleasant word. After a long silence, she just said, Yeah. When will the stock split be finalized? Busy later? Can't wait? With irritation in her voice, she asked, It's been 3 years and you can't wait a few days? I frowned and decided to make my point clear. Sarah, don't make me hate you. With that, I left. Honestly, I was just testing her, betting on my psychological read of Sarah being right. She likely has a dependent personality and easily over-empathizes, always caving to David's cheap emotional tricks. Turned out I was right. 2 days later, Sarah came to my studio in person. She looked worn out, but faint love marks were visible on her neck. Clearly, it was another rough night. Seeing my eyes wander, she explained, "Don't think too much. I didn't do anything. In fact, this whole time I've been trying so hard to push him away." I chuckled. "Let's stick to business. Whatever it is, it's got nothing to do with me. I don't even have the right to explain now." She asked, a bit irritated. I aligned the pages of the contract. "Do you remember where we first met?" Sarah frowned, seemingly confused by my out-of-the-blue question. I think," she tried to recall. "At Sam's party with J Group?" Just as I suspected. Wrong. "Then at the product launch. Must be right this time." I gave her a look. She panicked. "Wait, let me think. It was Star Moon Bay in 2021, where you couldn't secure any funding and broke up with David. I gave you hangover pills then." She started to remember. "My brain. Seriously." "But where you first bumped into David, you clearly remember. It was the cafe, not the park next to it." She looked down. "You checked on me?" "I have no interest in that. It's your old college social account logged into an old tablet at home. I found it by accident while researching something." She deflated, leaning into her chair, a look of defeat on her face. I handed her the contract. She didn't take it, but gripped my hand. Her voice choked. "So you know everything?" "All of it?" she asked hopefully. I popped her bubble of hope. "Yeah, totally. I know you've been restless since the day we decided to get our marriage license. I know he likes kissing you after you've had grapefruit juice. I know you went to Houston to accompany him for medical appointments, not for a business trip. I know you can't stand his tears." Silence spread wide. "Michael, I'm sorry." She lowered her head. I accepted her apology without feeling bad about it. She explained, "When I said I couldn't guarantee how much of the company's equity you'd get, it wasn't a threat. I was just thinking if using equity could keep you by my side, I would do it." She shook her head. "Pretty despicable, right?" I don't hold back. "Yes, very despicable. I never go easy on those who upset me." She gave a self-deprecating smile, then picked up the equity distribution contract and tore it to pieces before I had a chance to react. She called in the legal team. "Draft a new contract, keep everything else the same, increase Mr. Michael's equity share by 2% from my portion." Sarah's company is valued at around $150 million now, so 2% extra is an extra $3 million for me. Sarah and I signed our names separately, 2 names side by side, neat and nice. Sarah looked down, biting her lip. "Never thought the first time our names would be together would be on a separation agreement." She laughed at herself. "I thought it would be on a marriage certificate." I walked her to the elevator, watching as it closed, watching her enchanting face disappear. "Goodbye, Sarah." I said it silently in my mind. Just as the elevator closed, a hand stopped it abruptly. Sarah looked at me, hopeful yet cautious. "Michael, is there really nothing you want to say to me?" I thought about it, speaking honestly. "Thanks for the cash. Once the funds came through, my studio quickly got on track. What followed was endless business trips and social events. Being in the same circle, I ran into Sarah quite a lot. When we met, we just nodded. No conversation whatsoever. 3 years passed quietly. Coincidentally, on a flight to Hong Kong, we were seated next to each other. Before takeoff, she was texting away, frowning more and more, filled with impatience, but every message was getting responses. Every chat she had, her replies were longer than theirs. Scared by her expression, the flight attendant didn't dare come closer to remind her to turn off her phone. I couldn't help but say, "We're about to take off. You need to turn it off." She finally switched to airplane mode, turning her head, weary and helpless. "It's David. He wants me to help him buy a watch. I don't know anything about this stuff. Besides, I'm only out for the day. It's all meetings. Where's the time?" I don't bother to listen. I just conclude, fights that aren't about breaking up are just showing off your love. He's too vain. I became her emotional advisor unwillingly. You know he's vain, materialistic, and has a bad temper, yet you love him. You know his goals and dreams are mundane and ordinary, yet you love him. You know he's second-rate, yet you love him. Sarah was speechless. Maybe I owe him from a past life, here to repay him. I was blunt. I don't know about him, but you owe me. She solemnly nods. Yes, I owe you. I don't want to star in some cheesy drama. It makes me get goosebumps. Enough with the nonsense. Run the company well. The more your company is worth, the more money I get. Her voice is hoarse. Aren't you considering a new relationship? How could I not? I'm young, rich, capable. I want to find an amazing woman to match me. If not, being single isn't bad either. Before we deplaned, she pushed her luggage and escorted me to the car. Rain was falling in the harbor area, raindrops pattering on our shoulders. The only comfort now is that I didn't leave you with emotional scars. I smiled. How could you not? Those days she was in Houston with David, during the day I was busy with the equity split, and at night, heartbreak gnawed at me like a bone-eating worm, biting my insides with pain. But I was raised by my parents, educated by teachers, accompanied by friends, receiving so much love. Growing up to 26, how could I let a woman, a relationship, make me live or die? Life is a vast wilderness. Where have I walked so far? She brushed the moisture off my shoulder. Keep in touch. I smiled and shook my head. Let's not. If we weren't still in the same circle and possibly doing business together, I'd really want to delete and block you. Her fingers tightened. So you're never mad at me? Always treating me kindly as a friend, just because we might work together in the future? I never liked lying. To be honest, yes. Her hand stayed frozen on my shoulder. She didn't pull back for a long while. Michael, you're harsh. I raised an eyebrow. You'll find out later I'm even harsher when snatching clients. My studio moved from a small office to an entire floor of a building. No news of David and Sarah getting married. Eric got nosy. What do you think is going on with him? I was lounging on a beach chair, sneaking looks at beautiful women in bikinis. As expected, Eric asked, What do you mean? I took a sip of coconut water. An ill-fated couple. You can't get along, but you can't let go. Eric sang, Torturing each other till old age, growing old together. That's tough. With David's personality, it's easy to screw everything up. Anyone's tolerance has a limit. A person who clings like a parasite, endlessly troublemaking, probing, throwing tantrums won't earn more care and love from the other, just exhaustion. Eric agreed deeply with my opinion. The year I rang the bell at NASDAQ, Sarah and David parted ways for good. At a small auction dinner, they showed up arm in arm, but by the end, fought till the sky collapsed. Eric gave me a play-by-play from where he was across the pond in the U.S. It was over a ring. David bought it at the auction and proposed to Sarah right there. But Sarah, being Sarah, stood there stunned for a long time, then shook her head. No. Yes, she shook her head. Can you believe that? Eric's voice was so loud I had to move my phone further away. And then David lost it. Sarah tried to apologize, and David pushed her away, saying they should break up. They had to break up. Hearing it was David who said break up, I even felt relieved for him. He finally let go of his obsession.
I'm trying to be
a man as sunny and bright as him. Why trap himself in an unhealthy relationship?
Man.
Seeing I wasn't speaking,
You're already the pickle man.
Eric suddenly sounded wary. Why so quiet? Don't tell me you're thinking about Sarah. I wasn't. I looked out the window. The sun was shining, the spring breeze warm and gentle. Below, Broadway and 42nd Street stretched infinitely forward. Glowing, trendy billboards lined up. 24-hour lights, bright and translucent.
She lost faith
this
in me
is the center of the world. And now it's also my center. The world is opening up to me. Why would I ever go back?
Did you vote for local on the games you lost? Also, yes. No, I didn't. Yeah, just trying to get back to a somewhat normal, more normal schedule. I get that. I get that. The fucking late night streams are tough. Is my dog howling? The fuck was that? He was just howling. 210K, 210K more, damn. The hot dog is gonna make it longer. Ugh. Phrasing. What? Watch out, yeah. You guys ever watch the, like, go back and watch the music video for this song and see what, like, the transformation of Post Malone? Hello, mate. Good morning, friends. Tanner was just talking mad shit about your sniping. Said he wants... I wasn't talking mad shit. Why do people tell... Everybody always tells Logo I was talking shit. After the first snipe off, I went into his chat and he said, "Oh, Tanner, we got a fucking problem."
We spotted an enemy sniper to your east.
Tan, the hot dog is going to make it longer. That's pending FDA approval. Can't quote me on that. And he pinned it. No, Princher pinned it. I thought... Oh, it showed possess it first. Okay. Yeah, Princher, thank you.